You're all good.
There we go.
Wonderful. So, you have been... Hold on, let me get something else up that I forgot I need. When do you remember last minute things? Oh no, it's that one. Wonderful. Okay. Remembered which one I need to do it to. You have been travelling for a little while now to go and visit another one of your people that you typically go and see. Another person you've been alerted to that has been injured. You typically, nowadays, you don't tend to deal with, like, the big injuries that you've heard other people talk about, but they still happen, especially when defending the borders from anything dangerous that might attack, or even simply scouting and stuff that goes wrong, or training. Training has increased a lot from what you have heard since when it first started happening. Especially after the Great War, which you do not know too much about. It is not a time that many people like to talk about, however, there are certain people that specialise in it that you know about. You are currently on your way to Ellesmere, which is the big capital for the elves. It is the main place in Do Weldon Varden that most people go to and would know about. You are trying to traverse this place. It is very busy, more busy than you've known it to be before. There are a lot more elves. You're even noticing humans. Though this place is normally sealed off to most humans, there is still now the occasional one that follows through, but now there seems to be more than normal. You notice the crests for some of the guards happen to be that of the royal family, and those of higher up status. Ones that are typically seen when hiring out soldiers or soldiers that are needed for the king's sort of businesses that needs to be done. Or the riders. There is not many of them, as they are few at the moment. However, you have heard that there are the eggs being circled again to see if they can find any more riders to join their ranks. Especially after the fall that has happened in the past, they are trying their best to increase their numbers again to continue keeping balance within the realm. You, as you travel throughout this place, continue to see more and more of this place. It is not a place you travel to too often. And as you walk along the tree roots that have now been carved into stones after years and centuries of being walked upon by elf feet and now the humans, you start to reach the centre that you need to walk through to be able to go and reach the opposite side, which is just where the person you need to see is. As you look into the centre, you will see not per se a podium, but a small little place, and you can see 3 dragon eggs on that pedestal per se. One of them is a light blue, almost ice-like. These, you have never seen dragon eggs before, but they look almost like crystals. They look like geodes, and they catch the light perfectly and shiver. The other one is a blood red. It is deep and looks like the blood that you see so often. The third and final one is a deep green one. It looks like the forest. All 3 of these are being guarded by 2 guards each, but you can see more soldiers dotted around the place, making sure to keep the peace in case anything else happens as well. You've not been keeping track of this, of course. You've been a bit too busy with your own life. What would you like to do?
When Althea saw the people surrounding the center, at first she probably thought about what is going on. Why is there so many people here? Because usually it's mostly quiet, not unusual. Maybe her curiosity got the best of her, even though she is indeed going to see a patient. She can spare a second to find out what is happening. So she probably kind of traverses the crowd, going to the center to see what's the mess around is about.
Yeah. So as she gets closer, she will see that people are being ordered more into more orderly fashion. You'll notice elves that don't normally leave their houses have come to gather here. Ones that you know are people that tend to hide away, or tend to try and not per se stay in the more sociable areas. You have noticed that they are around here, and see, some seem defeated, some seem hopeful. There's a mixture around the air. But she will see, if she does this, people going up to the dragon eggs and touching them, one by one, as they are let through past the guards. Each person, there seems to be a giant list that they have, and they are logging everybody that goes and touches the eggs. And they seem to cross off the name as soon as nothing happens. What would you like to do?
Althea, seeing the axe, would look at them, take like a good look from a distance, of course. Notice how different each of them are and how pretty the green one is. However, it's not in her plans to become a rider or even get close to the axe, so she's probably just gonna go around them to the side because she needs to go across the street to her patient.
Yeah. So, as she does, an elf that's not necessarily familiar to her, but is definitely still one that she has, seen around, walks up to her and says, "Are you not going to have a try?"
No, no, it's not my thing per se. I'm more about healing people and not like dragons and that sort of stuff. I need to go to a patient, actually. That's why I'm here to begin with, so.
Not every rider was a killer, you know.
I didn't say that.
No, but it's what you insinuated because it's what you've heard.
Well,
Trust me, there were some good healers in the old days. I think you'd enjoyed them, if you were alive then anyway.
Yeah, I'm more about healing people, and besides, I have a family now, which I don't really want to leave behind. So, I have a good life here.
And that is fair. Though you should at least go and have a try. You never know the good you could do for the realm, even more past these walls. Oh well, this forest.
You're making a point, however. I do need to see the patient. Maybe after that.
Be fast, they're not going to be here for too long.
Okay. Okay, fine. And Althea I'm probably gonna skedaddle to see her patient first, because he actually needs help.
Yeah. So you'll weave your way through this crowd. It's a lot thicker than it looked from a distance. You're realizing just how many elves and humans there are in this place. And with everyone probably pushing a bit more than they should, you realize you've been accidentally pushed into one of the lines and close to the front. And at this point, the guards have taken notice to who was there. And one of them walks up to you and says, "What is your name?"
Sorry, I'm not here for the eggs. I'm just making my way to the patient.
I do apologize, ma'am. However, everyone is expected to do this.
Even if I don't want to?
Unfortunately, we're in a shortage of riders, per se.
Althea gonna think to herself for a second. Maybe it was a try. Surely I can't be a rider. And
Yeah.
she's gonna glance at the guard and gonna say just, Althea Scarlet.
And he writes it down and goes, "Okay, there's only a couple in front of you, so it shouldn't take too long for you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing this."
Yeah, of course.
And he kind of goes to the person behind you now and starts taking their name. You've probably noticed as well, there's probably a couple of guards walking around throwing people out the line that have already had their turn and have tried sneaking in again. It's a little bit of chaos of people wanting to do their bit for the continent. Alagaësia is a place that has stood strong for a long time, so a lot of people do want to prove that they are worth living here and want to do their part. As you're probably stood in here, it's probably not too long, because typically people are up there for a minute each. So you're probably only waiting in line for about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. Is she doing anything particular in that time?
Probably just kind of nervously fidgeting with her hands, because she really needs to get to that patient.
Yeah. So as it comes to your turn, the guards will look at you and go, "Have you been signed in?"
Yes.
Go ahead. And they kind of move the spears that they had crossed over out of your way.
Althea is slowly gonna make her way to the axe. Kinda gonna look at them.
Which one does she want to try first?
Probably the light blue one, because it matches her hair, so why not?
Yeah. As she goes to touch this egg, it's surprisingly warm. With its look, you expected it to be icy cold. But now that you feel it, it feels staticky. It feels alive, it feels warm. The closest thing you could probably put it to is lightning. Though you've never touched it yourself, you've heard tales of those that have and have been struck by it. And how it felt. Especially being a healer, you've read the things about it. And this is the closest thing you've ever felt to that. But nothing happens.
Okay, one down, two more to go. She's gonna reach for the next one, which is blood red one.
Again, as she touches this, it is a fire. This one is a lot warmer than the last one. it feels like whenever you touch something that's been freshly forged or something along those lines, as if the lava itself is boiling through the shell. As if that is something that is alive beneath it. And it will probably sting her a bit, but if she pulls back her hand, there'll be nothing wrong with her. Does she want to go to the next one?
Yeah. She's gonna reach for the last one.
Okay. As she touches the next one, this one feels a lot cooler. This one she can tell is more moderate. It feels like the forest, it feels like where she's grown up, it feels like where she's lived. It feels like home. And as she does, across her palm, it stings. As if just holding freshly smelted iron. It burns into her. As a spiral forms and glows slightly before settling onto her skin, bonding her to that egg. As this happens, you hear one of the guards shout, "It has happened! A new rider has been born." And you will hear cheers, some disappointment, but mostly cheers, from the others around as they watch on with you. Stood there with the dragon egg next to you, a newly branded rider.
It's probably gonna take Althea to get her balance back and finally understand what happened, as she was not prepared or expecting to actually be one of the riders. She's just stood there, glancing at the egg, doubting her choices of even coming to the town earlier today. And she is... While everyone else is cheering, she's just stood there scared as to what is gonna happen next to her.
Yeah. The guard that took her name from earlier will walk up to her and say, "Miss Scarlet, can you please come with me? We have a place for you to keep your egg, and you were the one that had the patient, right?"
Yeah.
We have a place where we can make it so your egg can stay with you, but if you would like, I can get 2 people to escort you to your patient.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to the patient now.
I can alert one of the riders to come and collect you soon. You will be heading off to... you'll be heading off to Dora Arabia. The place is being fixed up, so all new riders are to be sent straight there.
Wait,
To Ilya.
like, immediately?
You will have a day to sort your affairs, but past that, yes. It will be immediate. And as he's speaking, he waves over 2 more guards from the outer ring. And they come over, listening to him explain the situation as they move either side of you. One of them bringing a satchel and placing the egg into it and handing it over to Althea for her to carry.
I'm gonna have it with me.
Yes, and it is the only way for the eggs to hatch, as far as we're aware. It can be apart from you for a little while, however, it's better if it's closer with you. It builds the bond stronger with your dragon.
I have a question. You said I have a day to prepare, right?
Correct.
Is there a place that everyone would be gathered from where we all gonna travel?
I will be alerting one of the riders, so they will be travelling with you straight to Dora Arabia. None of us are allowed there, just the riders. However, there is a small camp outside that we have all been staying at, if you wish to stay there, if you don't have lodgings here.
No, I'm gonna go home for today, and I'm just gonna return here tomorrow to the camp, if that is.
That is fine. We're just outside of Ella's Mirror, so we are not far. We're up in some of the higher trees with some of the lodgings that were created for the humans. So, if you need us, we'll be over there.
Yeah.
And he kind of bows as he goes walking away, leaving the two guards to follow you to wherever you're going to go.
She's just gonna book to the patient, not wanting to stick around more.
Yeah, the two guards are going to follow. They're going to make sure that she is safe and that she has been, someone is with her.
Yeah.
And they are going to stand, pretty much do whatever Althea says, other than leave.
Yeah.
That is the only order they have been told not to obey.
Yeah.
However, they will do pretty much whatever she says.
She's gonna let them follow her to the patient, and while she's doing the stuff she needs, like treating, healing, that sort of stuff. And after that, she is probably gonna go for a walk to clear her head a little bit.
Yeah. The guards at this will still be following. However, they, specifically because they can tell the mood and what is happening, they will be trailing behind her instead. They will not be side by side with her like they normally would be with the other riders. They will be following her instead, making sure that she's still safe, especially with some of the things that have been happening across Alagaësia with some of the stuff, especially with riders. However, they're still giving her space. And have been actually rather respectful, is probably not what Althea expected from human soldiers. Especially after some of the stories that she has heard about them being so disrespectful and not being the best when it comes to certain things.
She's just gonna walk around town for a bit, thinking to herself, what the hell did I get myself into? And how I'm gonna tell Kawas and the little one about this. And as she's thinking that, she decides to just not tell them at all.
Well, best way to keep people out of issues, don't tell them.
Yeah.
I can also say, these guards, if asked questions, will answer questions for you. that possibly even the head guard didn't know the answers to.
I really appreciate how I think Althea is just in a shock state while she doesn't think about anything else.
Which is fair. I thought I'd still put the offer there for you.
Yeah.
You know what I can actually show you?
Each.
Because the internet is a wonderful place. Welcome to roughly Duwelden Varden.
Wait, that's so pretty. I love that. And
Welcome.
then there's
Don't worry about him. You ignore him in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, that's pretty much like this sort of stuff. That would also be something there. Love to share that with you.
That is so pretty.
Duwelden Varden is a very pretty place. Ellesmere is literally built on a tree.
Wonderful.
The pathways that they use are the roots to those trees. That have just been worn down by elves walking on them so often.
Oh, this is wonderful.
But
yeah.
those guards will accompany Althea anywhere.
Mhm.
Anywhere. They will still be respectful of her privacy. So anything that she does, they won't be there. That sort of stuff. One of them does slightly... You can see one of them slightly flinch before they reach out, before they call out to you. Would you prefer just the one rider or two? I'm being told to ask that question.
Sorry, what do you mean by one rider or two?
To collect you tomorrow to take you to Del Arabia.
Probably one just be fine.
That's fine. It's my commander was just asking, so I needed to ask the question. Apologies.
Yeah, sorry, I'm so kind of out of it. Everything is happening so quickly, and yeah.
This is fine. It is more just on if your trip would have to wait a bit longer and waiting for the other one to collect the eggs and stuff, or you could head back straight away.
Yeah.
But since you chose one, you'll be heading there straight away. It'll be just after first light that you'll need to meet them here. So you'll need to be here early.
Is that really necessary to do? Like, all the eggs and riders?
It is a day's ride from here, even by dragon, to the Arabia. Depending on what route you take in the weather, which we can't exactly predict fully, so... Especially since it'll be going over the spine, you'll want to be extra careful.
I cannot buy much of this, can I?
No. Unfortunately, once a rider is chosen, they have to be taken to Arabia. They don't want to repeat something that has happened in the past. So riders are immediately taken there to be trained. And also so you can control your new powers.
Wait, powers? What do you mean by that?
You really aren't clued in with riders, are you?
No, I'm just a healer. I wasn't even going to try to get close to the egg. I was there to treat a patient.
Well, when you're bonded with a dragon, you gain more access to the ancient language and more connection, so you'll be able to use magic a lot more freely. I know elves already can, but dragons are kind of the human's connection to the magic.
I see. What would happen to the riders when they'll be taken to the place?
From what I know, they are setting up the quarters right now for new people anyway, so you'd be staying there, training, possibly among new ones if they find any more, and that'd be going from there.
How long would it take to fully train?
That could entirely depend. You'd at least need for your dragon to be fully grown to start training, which I believe could take a year. It depends on the dragon from what I know. Apologies, I'm not too well versed in this sort of stuff.
Yeah, fine.
You are better off asking the rider when they come to collect you tomorrow.
Yeah, but you said a year?
Yes. Typically it takes a dragon a year to grow. And then you'll have to learn how to train with them.
But I have a family. I can't just sleep now.
You don't necessarily have to. I know Shadeslayer didn't. Although he didn't necessarily have a choice, but you can still visit and stuff. The riders aren't monsters. They're going to keep you trapped on the island. There's boats that they can probably get you over, and even then, some of the riders might fly you there themselves. They seem like decent people. Both of them.
Yeah. Could I ask you something?
I might have an answer depending on what it is.
It's not like a question, it's just a small request. When I'm closer to my home, could you please not follow?
We can do that, but we will have to stay somewhat nearby in case something happens.
Yeah. I just... Althea kinda looks to the side. Not sure if to tell them or no, but she's thinking about things.
As they agree to the request, they both half bow to her in respect of her authority over them now.
Althea kinda just kinda like, oh, you don't need to do that. Please don't. Yeah.
Apologies, habits we are important to us.
That is, I'm just a healer.
You're a rider now.
Rider who knows nothing about dragons or all this sort of stuff.
Shadeslayer didn't when he started as well. You'll do fine.
Yeah.
Now, come along. If you have a family to get to, we should probably get you there.
Yeah. She's gonna lead the way to her cabin in the outskirts of the city.
Yeah. They're both going to follow, and they're going to stay... Probably not a mile, probably a couple of trees back instead. Just so you can't see them from the house. But they're close enough in case anything happens. I'm pretty sure that's where we can end it.
Yeah.
Teehee.